When did you first know that you wanted to play this music called jazz?
Well, I think my dad, both my parents are, I lost my mom at 82. I got my dad still, I'm grateful to say. And he always had like a passion for jazz. So he had a big music collection. So we were always hearing, Charlie Parker was his favorite, and then people like Bill Jackson and Ellington, and I saw Frank West records, all kind of great music that we were hearing all the time, along with the Motown hits that we grew up in. So it was kind of, I think, going into my body from when I was a baby. So by the time I got to high school, I was really sure I wanted to be a jazz musician, and everything was there for us. I remember a woman, Bess Bonnier, was a blind pianist, a great jazz pianist in Detroit. Marcus Belgrave said to her, "There's this young girl piano player. I want you to take an interest in her and get her going." And that's kind of the way it worked. You show an interest, and the musicians would make every effort to blend you into what was going on. So I guess high school, I was really sure that that's what I wanted to do by high school.
Did that have anything to do with you choosing Howard University? I know you went on to Howard. What made you choose Howard, and what was life like there for you at Howard in terms of your musical interests?
Right. Well, as I mentioned, Donald Byrd came to Cass to spend some time with us students through our director, Marilyn Jones, whose husband was a jazz musician. And she was a Cass alum, as Donald was, and they were in the same class together. I believe along with, there's so many of them from that particular era. But once Donald was there, he took an interest in some of us. And I remember he was very kind. He flew me and a friend named Clifton Banks, who's no longer with us, down to Durham, to UNC, North Carolina Central, where he started teaching. And he had just finished a tenure at Howard. I guess he had been there for about 4 years prior to my graduating. So I had my eyes set on Howard because my father told me, says, you really need to go to a black school. You need to experience what that is. And he had gone to Tennessee State. He says, even if you just go for a semester, a year, it's important to go, because that's something that you will appreciate for the rest of your life. And he was really right. I went to Howard, though, in search of Donald Byrd, because he had established a jazz program there. But by the time I got there, he had moved on to North Carolina Central. So he flew us down there to North Carolina Central to see the school. But I had my heart set on going to Howard by that time. And it was a great experience. Being there, I studied with John Malachi, who was the pianist with Dizzy Gillespie, and that famous big band that all of the great beboppers pioneered in. You had Sarah Vaughan and Charlie Parker and Dizzy, and Joe Harris would have been in that band. And so it was really a great thing to have the chance to study with him. And then just the whole cultural base that Howard had to offer. It was a new experience for me to have access to the visual arts, to the theater, all of this housed in one place, along with the music. So it was very rich. It was a great experience.
Sounds like it.